It's really difficult to recall any time in my life when I wasn't sort of totally caught up in music. But when I look back on what got me started, there are two definite specific incidents which are uppermost in my mind. I can remember being really, really young, sort of 6 or 7, and going down to sing in a local barber shop in Glasgow to the people who were in having their hair cut and being shaved and whatnot. And then later on, although I was still young, but I'm talking now about being 12 or 13, I was totally overawed by the prospect of being invited by the SNO, the Scottish National Orchestra, to sing in opera at the King's Theatre in Glasgow, because that was like real big time. It was the biggest thing that had happened to me. And it was strange really for somebody like me to get involved in things like opera and choral singing and whatnot, because I came from a pretty heavy housing area in Glasgow, and as you know, Glasgow can be a pretty heavy city at the best of times. But it was strange for someone in an area like that to get involved with this sort of music, because the other kids and whatnot couldn't really understand it. I don't really think they understood what I got out of it. It wasn't a normal sort of thing that kids should do. And as you're probably well aware, kids can be a bit cruel when they come across something that they don't understand. But music, though, is something that you're willing to put up with a lot of hardship in the pursuit of it. It's got a real sort of addictive magic, a real quality to it that means once you do actually get immersed in it, you can't stay away from it. And that's typified, I suppose, when I look back to my years of taking a degree at art school, when during my final year I was gigging heavily in a local band in Glasgow called Chico. Even to the extent of things like the night before final exams and whatnot, I'd be out gigging, getting back 3 and 4 in the morning. And I suppose it's just another episode which highlights this fact of the amount of hardship that you're willing to put up with. I suppose, though, that that's really the way it always has been, and probably the way it's always going to be. Because the Chico Band was the first band I'd ever really been in permanently that had got on the road, I suppose I'm always going to have a special affection for it. But despite the fact that it was becoming quite successful on the local scale in Scotland, it wasn't without its problems. The problem for the band was one of economics, because it was an 8-piece band. And it's very difficult in the small clubs and pubs in Scotland, which aren't in any case allowed to charge admission money. It's really difficult simply to keep a band of that scale going on very little income. But the problem for me was really more acute, because I joined the band to help out some friends who had started it, and I joined basically as a singer. And I was singing their material, which admittedly was original material, but I was very unhappy because none of that original material was my material. I had been writing songs at this stage for a period of 3 or 4 years, and I had stockpiled quite a lot of songs which we just weren't getting to do. It's something I've always found reasonably straightforward since I started doing it, is songwriting. It's not as if I operate on a method or a basis of inspiration. I don't wake up in the middle of the night reaching for the pen and paper and scribbling down whatever's flashed to me in some deep dream. It's very much a methodical thing. I decide what I'm going to write about, and I sit down in front of my tape machines and basically work out the melody first of all, and the lyrics seem to always fall quite easily into place. Never something which has been a great problem to me, in all honesty.
He's got no time for school, living in a brave new world, making up the rules, when no one tells him what to do. Nothing spoils his fun, he's found his own reality, dreaming dreams of better days to come. Running wild around the town, he's got no claim to fame, making art on building walls, at least none of his name. But he can't find a magic face, he needs no common sense. Every full of green fresh air, no one hides a grudge behind a veil. You can dance, you can sing, but you can't do anything. All the tables are turned in that brave new world. Comes back to a darkened room, his bed. Secrets of that magic place locked inside his head. But one day when he's old enough, he'll be moving on, to find an answer to his dreams. Sure he won't be missed until he's gone. You can dance, you can sing, you can do anything. All the tables are turned in that brave new world. see. I dream and dreams of better days to come. You can dance, you can sing, you can do anything. All the tables are turned in that baby world. You can dance, you can sing.
When it came to recording the first album, I spent a long time really looking at all the material that was available, because I wanted to be sure that not only were all the songs which we were going to use strong as songs in their own right, but that when we put them together on an album that they gained a sort of collective strength by the way in which they complemented each other. And there was a lot of material to choose from really. I mean, not only do I write quite prolifically, but there are 3 other guys in the band who are writing material as well. So it's pretty difficult to choose what we were going to use. And yet, having said that, it might seem quite strange that we decided to cover 2 songs. One is a Todd Rundgren song called Can We Still Be Friends, and the other one is an Ashford and Simpson song called So So Satisfied. People ask, invariably, in fact, why do other people's material? And in fact, really, the only answer to that is why not. I think there are a lot of artists nowadays who are a bit snobbish when it comes to the possibility of recording songs which have been written by someone else. I think if a song is a good song, then it's worth recording. I don't believe that I am the only person in the world capable of writing a good song, and consequently, if it is a good song, I'm into doing it. I think that the album is a good album. I hope that people don't fall into the syndrome of saying it's a first album, and invariably people tend to judge albums on that basis. I think it is a good album. I'm happy with the way it's turned out. And we have a pretty good reaction too to some of the live work that we've been doing. We toured just before we recorded the album. We did our own tour, which went the length and breadth of the UK here, and there was good reaction to that. And we went from there to open 6 shows for Robert Palmer in this country, to which there was really an amazing reaction. There's been a bootleg of some of the songs which we've done on the album, which was run off some demos which we did earlier in the year. And the reaction to that has been pretty good as well. There's been pretty heavy airplay in radio stations up and down this country. And in fact, I believe some radio stations, even as far afield as America and other places on the continent, have been playing it as well. The record company gave me the time to put together a permanent band, and I think that's really important for any artist to have a permanent band, because there is stability there, and there's always going to be continuity, and it means that no matter who else may come and go to augment the lineup at any given point in time, there is definitely that stability there. There are really, really excellent players, in fact, in the band, and this is probably the time to tell you who they are. First of all, there's Paul Kornowski, who plays guitar. He's of very doubtful origin indeed, but I'll not go into that any deeper here. There's Bob Patterson, who plays bass. There's Robin Rankin, who plays keyboards, and Andy Hamilton, who plays assorted saxophones. The other person who makes up the permanent part of the lineup of the back line is a character from the south of England called Pete Coe, who plays drums, and he was the very first guy, in fact, that we auditioned out of 70 in a 2-day period. The second thing that was really nice was that it gave us the chance to play with people who had been, or with whom there had been a sort of 2-way admiration society going on, and they've guested in the album, and I think they've helped it immensely. Obviously, there's Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, who guested on guitar and a couple of things, and Jim Mullen, likewise, who's played on numerous occasions with the Average White Band, who guested on guitar as well. And also Graham Parker's Rumour Horn section played with us, and in fact they'll be coming on the road with us too. And last but certainly not least, there are the really nice people from Kokomo, who are some of the best singers in the country as far as I'm concerned. And sort of complementing that entire circus, if you like, were the 2 producers, John Astley and Phil Chapman, with whom the recording at Olympic Studios in Chelsea went very easily. It's always a gamble, I think, when a band gets together with producers as to how the whole thing's going to work. Obviously, ideally, it would be nice to think that your producer becomes an extra member of the band and you all move along in the same direction. But you're never really very sure of that until the thing's finished. Fortunately, I think this was one situation and one time where things went very smoothly indeed. We all knew exactly what we wanted to be doing, and I think it's turned out for the best. This is a sound that we want to take on the road, and I hope to see you there.
You can go. Hot nights in Paris, gonna open up your eyes. Too hot to fight, too cool to tango. H.T. Avenue, the tables line the street. Sit in your flat back drinking hot red wine. Do what you wanna do, the ladies that you meet. They'll show you how to have a good time. This is not the best to be. You know somewhere better. This is not the best for me. One night in Paris, nothing else gonna matter. I miss tea and intrigue. It's sure to find romance. You got a night full of surprises. This is the big league. For your money, take a chance. But keep a cool head in a crisis. High stepping through the park, some model mademoiselle. I shoot you up and spit you out. I go cruising after dark. If you promise not to tell you, I won't take you long to find it all out. This is not the best to be. You know somewhere better. This is not the place for me. One night in Paris, nothing else gonna matter.